Hope the screen is visible to all of you. And mostly, first session will be completely theoretical content will be delivered, and you need to understand each component. So simple questions will be coming from these. Now we will discuss on Azure Machine Learning Compute. So what mean by Azure Machine Learning Compute? As I said in the last session, Microsoft Azure is a cloud-based service which provides data storage, which provides computing machines, which provide various AI services, machine learning algorithms, machine learning models, pre-built machine learning models. So this is the computing machine. This is related to the computing machine. So Azure Machine Learning Compute means, so here we are going to discuss about the what are the different type of virtual machines or computing machines are available or offering by the Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud. So yesterday told us, I think, suppose if I want to incubate a startup and want to take up a project related to some deep learning or machine learning, which requires a huge amount of computing machine, which costs a huge amount. I require a high powered computing machine, which costs a huge amount. So as I am a startup incubator and I am in the starting stage, I don't know whether I will sustain in this field or not. So at that time, I can't offer such an amount to purchase the computing machine. Then what is the solution for me? So I can use the computing or virtual machines or cloud-based computing tools offered by the Microsoft Azure. So that means, so I can configure a virtual machine. I can configure a computing machine in a cloud, Microsoft Cloud. So I will run my code in the cloud machine, in the virtual machine. So no need to purchase the new machine for me. So, and Microsoft will charge based on my usage. How much time I am using the virtual machine or computing machine in the cloud, in the Microsoft Azure servers. So based on that time, they will charge. So it will not create a high burden financially for me. Now coming to this compute, see, at its core, Azure Machine Learning is a service for a training and managing the machine learning models. So if you want to train the machine learning model, if you want to manage the machine learning model, if you want to evaluate the machine learning model, you require a computer. Generally, for our academic project, we are working on our laptops or on our desktops. But in the real-time project, in a big projects, you require high-end computing machines. It will cost a few lakhs to crores also sometimes. So we can't offer. In such time, you can choose the computing machine. You can take a virtual machines for the computing purpose from the Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Azure. So different type of computing machines are there. They are called as a compute instances, compute cluster, inference cluster, and attached compute. So these are the different type of computing machines. Coming to the compute instance. So Azure Machine Learning Compute Instance is a virtual machine, as I said earlier. So once you log in into the portal.azure.com, so initially, if you are first time entering into the portal.azure.com, then you can create an account and you can attach your credit card. Credit card is mandatory. Okay. But initial days, they will give the 30 days free period, free trial period they will provide. But for that also, you have to link with your credit card. So they will deduct 2 rupees from your credit card and they will credit again for authentication of your credit card only. That purpose. So once you create the account, then go to the portal Azure portal.azure.com. In that portal, you can create a virtual machine, computing machine based on your requirements. Based on your requirements means how many cores are required and how much RAM is required, how much space is required. So that type of things can be configured and you can create a virtual machine in the cloud. And you are connecting that virtual machine, high-end virtual machine, which is in the cloud. You are connecting from your laptop only, but you are not running the code on your laptop. You are running the code in the virtual machine. That you have to remember. నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటమ్మా, మీరు ఈ virtual machine connect అయ్యేది through your laptop only. But you are not running the code on your laptop. You are running the code in the virtual machine created on the cloud. Okay, so that is called compute instance. So development of the workstations the data scientists can use to work with the data and models. We will use the compute instance, a particular virtual machine, a specific virtual machine. So where we can train the model, evaluate the model with a huge amount of data with high computing power. That is called compute instance. And coming to the next one, compute clusters. So compute cluster means it's not a single virtual machine, it's a cluster of machines, a group of machines. If you want to handle the huge amount of data, if single virtual machine is not sufficient, at the same time you want to run the parallel processing tasks, and multiple tasks you want to run parallelly. So in such case, you go for the compute clusters. That means your you may have a multiple virtual machines. You can run the task parallelly on the different virtual machines at the same time. So what the advantage of these compute clusters? It will reduce at the time. You don't want to wait to complete the first task to start the second one. You can start the first task, second task, third task parallelly on the different computing machines, different virtual machines, all are as a cluster, as a group. Okay, so that is called compute cluster. So scalable clusters of the virtual machines for on-demand processing of the extent of the code. On demand. If you require, you can create a virtual machine, cluster of virtual machines, a group of virtual machines. And a cost-effective way to run the experiments that need to be handled the large volumes of data. If you want to run the large volumes of data, you can parallelly process your code and reduce the time because of the parallel processing. Also distribute the workloads. So maybe your complete pipeline, you have the different workloads. Then you have to distribute the workloads. One workload for the one virtual machine, and another workload for the another virtual machine, and another workload on the some another virtual machine. That means you can distribute your workloads. You can distribute your workloads. Okay. So next thing. So attached compute. So attached compute means links a existing Azure computing source. There is one already existing Azure computing source is available for a specific task. Now attach that computing machine for your application. Okay, that's called links to existing Azure compute resource. Already Azure compute resource is available. You can directly attach to that compute resource. So such as virtual machines or Azure Databricks. So easily attach the existing machine learning workspace and use it to compute the target for a certain workload types. So for certain workload types, you already specified a particular computing machine, and you can attach that workload to that specific computing machine. That is called attach. That means you have to attach a specific workload for a specific virtual machine. That is called attached compute. And inference clusters. So actually these inference clusters are used for the production environment. And the first three what I discussed earlier, so compute instance, compute cluster, and attached cluster, all are used for the during the training process. But whereas in case of the inference cluster machines, these are in the deployment. That means you collected the data, you pre-process the data, you train the model, you test the model, you evaluate the model. Let us assume the model is perfectly all right. But for what purpose you are doing all those things? So do to build some application that so that that application can be used by some third parties. Now where you can host this application in the production environment in the real time where you can host this application. So that can be hosted in these inference clusters. So deployment targets for the predictive services that uses your trained model. So your trained models are deployed, and these deployed models will be run on the inference clusters. అంటే మీకు ఏం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నానంటమ్మా, మీరు ఒక కోవిడ్ డిటెక్షన్ అప్లికేషన్ మీద వర్కౌట్ చేస్తున్నారు అనుకుందాం. సో యూ హ్యావ్ ద 10,000 and 1 lakh samples of data మీ దగ్గర ఉంది. So based on that data, you used the Azure, Microsoft Azure, to train the different machine learning models at the different hyperparameter tuning at different epochs, different iterations, and finally you identify the best model for the COVID prediction. Now model is ready. Okay, now this model is deployed on an application. Now application is ready. Now let us assume there is a one mobile application is available. Cloud-based mobile application is developed. Now because it's a COVID prediction, so I am entering the fields like what is the fever, what is the O2, what is the cold, what is the cough, and I'm click on the submit. Once I click on the submit, this data will go to your machine learning model, and it will do some processing within that model, and it will give the output whether he has a COVID or not. But where that computing, that processing will be done. So that processing will be done on a particular virtual machines, particular cloud machine. That machines are called as inference clusters. అంటే రియల్ టైమ్‌లో మీ యొక్క అప్లికేషను, మీ యొక్క మోడల్ అనేది ఏ కంప్యూటింగ్ మెషిన్ మీద వర్కౌట్ అవుతుందో, ఏ కంప్యూటింగ్ మెషిన్ మీద మీరు డిప్లాయ్ చేశారో, వాటిని ఇన్ఫరెన్స్ క్లస్టర్స్ అంటారు. సో, దీస్ కంప్యూటింగ్ టార్గెట్స్ కెన్ బి యూజ్డ్ టు హోస్ట్ ద మోడల్స్, టు డిప్లాయ్ ద మోడల్స్. ఓకే. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అజూర్, Kubernetes service cluster. So Azure Kubernetes service is one of the computing cluster which is used to host the real-time applications, to deploy your application, machine learning based application. So you will get some questions like this. So which computing cluster is used in the production environment, or which computing cluster is used to deploy the application in the real time? So the answer is Azure Kubernetes service. So this is the one of the inference cluster or computing cluster which is used to deploy your models, to deploy your application for the real time purpose, for the production environment. Okay, so you have to remember this word, Azure Kubernetes service. Okay, so maybe in the practice test examination also, maybe you got some questions like this. So which computing cluster is used? So that's the Azure Kubernetes service cluster. Now, so in the Azure Machine Learning Studio, so one important feature is automated machine learning. So automated machine learning, what the advantage of this automated machine learning? So main advantage of the automated machine learning is actually, if you are the developer of any machine learning, if you are the developer, if you want to build a machine learning project, so you have to write some code to extract the data. You have to write some code to process the data. You have to write some code to train the model. And this code will be changes from the model to model again. And you have to write some code to test the model, and you have to write some code to evaluate the model, and you have to write some code deploy the model. So you have to put more amount of effort to build a complete machine learning or deep learning project. Okay, so but what is the automated machine learning will do is, it will in the automated machine learning, all pre-built machine learning models are, every pipeline is readily available. You can choose, select, and you can train. That's it. You no need to write a huge amount of code again. That's what it's called as the automated machine learning. సో మనము యాక్చువల్గా అయితే మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఏదైనా జెన్యున్గా మనం చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే, మనము డేటా కలెక్షన్ నుండి డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ వరకు చాలా కోడ్ రాయాల్సి ఉంటుందమ్మా. ఓకే, కానీ ఆటోమేటెడ్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు మనకి అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటంటే, డేటా ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్కి ప్రీ బిల్ట్ మెథడ్ ఉంటుంది, ట్రైన్ చేయడానికి ప్రీ బిల్ట్ మెథడ్ ఉంటుంది. ప్రతి మోడల్కి ఒక దాని బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ కోడ్ అంతా ఎన్క్యాప్సులేట్ అయిపోతుంది, హైడ్ అవుతుంది. బట్ యూ కెన్ సెలెక్ట్ దట్ కోడ్, నో నీడ్ టు రైట్ ద కోడ్ అగైన్. సో ఇట్ మేక్స్ ఈజీ. సో if you are not a good programmer, you can easily run a machine learning project. But if you are a good programmer, your automated machine learning tools will help to save your time. If I'm not using the automated machine learning tools, it will take the more time to write some code. I can write the code, but it will take more time. But if you go for the automated machine learning, it will become, everything will become done very fastly and easily. So automated machine learning capability that automatically tries multiple pre-processing techniques and model training algorithms in parallel. So suppose if you want to work with the regression problem, or if you want to work with the binary classification problem, okay. So your automated machine learning model, it will parallelly train the logistic regression model, parallelly train the descent tree, parallelly train the random forest, parallelly train the SVM. It will be done parallelly, so that the time consuming becomes very less, and your efforts also decreased, and it will be very easy. You don't need to write the code. So automated machine learning allows you to train the model without extensive data science or programming knowledge. Even though you don't have a good knowledge in the data science and the programming, but still you can build the machine learning models in the automated machine learning, but slight amount of coding knowledge is required. Sorry. So for the people with the data science and a programming background, so maybe some people may feel that I'm a good programmer, then what is the advantage of this one? So for the people with the data science and programming background, it provides a way to save time, to save the time of that programmer and resources. Suppose if I got one project, I'm alone, so then as a single person I can do all the tasks using automated machine learning. Okay, no need of huge number of resources are not required, human resources are not required for me. Okay, by automating the algorithm selection and hyperparameter tuning, every can be done automatically in the automated machine learning. You can tune the hyperparameters, You can tune the machine learning models. You can tune the performance analysis. That means you can tune the performance as metrics, data pre-processing. Everything can be done automatically. So that is the automated machine learning. So automated machine learning is one of the tool, cloud-based tool offered by the Microsoft to make the developer machine learning project developers task very easily, because they no need to write the code from the scratch. Just they can use the existing pre-built algorithms, and they can use the automated machine learning to run the parallel model trainings also. So it will lead to the time consuming. So these are the multiple advantages. So what is the automated process? First, you have to prepare the data. So you have to prepare the data. Next, you have to choose the proper machine learning models and train those machine learning models. And you are going to evaluate the performance of those machine learning models. If the machine learning model performance looks good in terms of the errors or in terms of the accuracy, then you are going to deploy your trained machine learning model on the as a predictive service. As a predictive service. Okay. If you want to deploy as a predictive service, then your model will be run on the Azure Kubernetes service computing machines, computing cluster, that you have to remember. So the evaluation, training, data preparation can be done all the things in the normal virtual machines. But whereas prediction, real-time deployment has to be done in the Azure Kubernetes service. So how to prepare the data? Okay. So machine learning models must be trained with the existing data, right? Suppose if you want to work on a COVID prediction, you have to collect the COVID related data. If you want to work on a load prediction, you have to collect the data related to the load. If you want to work on a temperature, you have to take the temperature data. If you want to work on a identification of the plant disease based on the leaf images, you have to collect the data accordingly. Okay. So based on your problem statement, you have to prepare the data. So data scientists expend a lot of effort. It is required also. Over a complete pipeline of the machine learning, you have to put huge amount of time for the data preparation. That is very mandatory. Why? If you feed the wrong data to the machine learning model, it functions in the wrong direction. If you give the good data, it will perform well. So like a child, for a child joining in a school, if I write a letter A and I said it is a B, then he will learn as a B only. So what data I am giving to the child, he will learn accordingly. Like that machine learning model or deep learning model, if you feed the data, perfect data, then it will be trained very well. If you feed the wrong data, it will be trained accordingly. So the preparation of data is very, very important. Okay. In Azure machine learning, data for the model training and other operations is usually encapsulated as an object. So you can't see the huge complete data in the Excel format. It will be encapsulated as an object, like automobile price prediction data set. You can see that object only. You don't see what are the features inside. Everything will be encapsulated, right? Hope you understand. Suppose if I set that code prediction data in my laptop, the data is visible as a Excel sheet. But in the Azure Machine Learning Studio, these data are encapsulated. Encapsulated means only some object is available. You have to understand that within that one you have a data, but you can't visualize by you can't visualize at that time. It will be encapsulated. Okay, no? అంటే ఏం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నాంటో అజూర్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ స్టూడియోలో డేటా సెట్స్ అనేవి మనం అనుకుంటున్నట్టు ఎక్సెల్ ఫార్మాట్లో మనకు విజిబుల్గా ఉండవు. సో ఎవ్రీ డేటా విల్ బి ఎన్కాప్సులేటెడ్ విత్ ఏ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అండ్ దట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ నేమ్ విల్ బి విజిబుల్ టు us. So just first you have to select the data set or create the data set. See how we prepare the data using the Azure Machine Learning Studio. The screenshot I am sharing with you. Sorry. This is the screenshot I am sharing with you. So see, so first you have to select the data. So you can see here create. So create a data set. If the data is available on your local copy, you can upload from there, and you can upload from the a data store, or you can upload from the a web file, so or you can upload from a open database. So you can take the you can push the data into the Azure. Okay, so that will be stored as a with the name of as an object. The data will be stored. సో అర్థమవుతుంది అనుకుంటున్నానమ్మా. సో యాక్చువల్‌గా మన దగ్గర డేటా అనేది ఎయిదర్ ఎక్సెల్ ఫార్మాట్‌లో గాని, సీఎస్‌వి ఫార్మాట్‌లో గాని ఉంటుంది. మన లోకల్ కంప్యూటర్‌లో. ఆ విధంగా ఉంటే యూ కెన్ సెలెక్ట్ ద ఫ్రమ్ లోకల్ ఫైల్. సో ఫ్రమ్ మై ల్యాప్‌టాప్ ఐ కెన్ అప్‌లోడ్ దట్ బ్రౌజ్ అండ్ అప్‌లోడ్ దట్ డేటా ఫైల్. Maybe sometimes from the data store also we can upload, or from a web file also we can upload, and from the open database also we can upload the data. Okay. అంటే మీరు కోవిడ్ ప్రిడిక్షన్ కోసం వర్కౌట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారు. మీరే హాస్పిటల్‌కి వెళ్లి డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని ఒక సీఎస్‌వి ఫార్మాట్‌లో సేవ్ చేసుకొని మీ ల్యాప్‌టాప్‌లో ఉంచుకున్నారనుకోండి. దెన్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ క్రియేట్ అండ్ ఫ్రమ్ లోకల్ ఫైల్ యూ కెన్ అప్‌లోడ్ దట్ డేటా. అలా కాకుండా సమ్ ఓపెన్ డేటా ఫైల్ ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ఉందనుకోండి. సో, దానికి వెబ్ ఈమెయిల్ ఏముంటుందో చూసుకొని దాని లింక్ ఏముంటుందో చూసుకొని through that one we can upload the data. So like that there is a different ways to upload the data into the Azure to work on the machine learning project. So once the data is uploaded, the next step is, so you have to select the task. అంటే మీరు ఏ ప్రాబ్లమ్ మీద వర్కౌట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారు. యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ విత్ ద క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ విత్ ద రిగ్రెషన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ద టైమ్ సిరీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, ఆర్ యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ద ఎన్ఎల్పి ప్రాబ్లమ్, ఆర్ యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ద కంప్యూటర్ విజన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. విచ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ యూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు సెలెక్ట్ దట్ వన్. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీరు కోవిడ్ ప్రిడిక్షన్ మీద వర్కౌట్ చేయాలనుకుంటే విచ్ విచ్ టాస్క్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు సెలెక్ట్ అమంగ్ ఆల్ దీస్ 6. సో ఐఎమ్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ సమ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ రెస్పాన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్. I think you are able to see the screen. So otherwise I will keep it in the chat box. Yeah. So someone give me. So if the data doesn't exist in the ML machine learning, then how to train the process? So if you want to work on a machine learning project, so data is mandatory. So for your problem, if the data is not available, already is not exist, then you have to prepare the data. You have to prepare the data. For example, if you want to work on a water quality assessment, let us assume if you want to work on a water quality assessment. So let us assume you don't have a water quality water that means uh, water quality assessed parameters like pH value, turbidity, dissolved oxygen levels. So let us assume that the data is not available. Then what you can do? You can take a sensors. You have a pH sensor, you have the oxygen sensor, you have a turbidity sensor. So based on that sensor, go to various places. Maybe in our college, let us assume in our college. So in the canteen we have a water tanks, right? So take a glass of water. Using the sensor, you can get the information about the oxygen levels, turbidity, and pH value. What are the parameters are required? You can collect the parameters. So based on the parameters, you have to prepare the data. So data is mandatory if you want to work on any machine learning or deep learning project. ఎందుకంటే మనకు కూడా అంతే కదమ్మా. ఇప్పుడు ఒక 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 చైల్డ్ ఒక అబ్బాయి మనం ఒక చైల్డ్ స్కూల్‌లోకి వెళ్ళినాక వాడు ఏదైనా నేర్చుకోవాలనుకుంటే అతనికి ఏదో ఒక డేటా ఇవ్వాలి కదా! ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు లెట్ ఇన్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు లెర్న్ ద హిందీ, సో యూ హావ్ టు గివ్ ద హిందీ, యూ హావ్ టు షో సమ్ హిందీ లెటర్స్. ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ ఏబీసీ నేర్చుకుంటే ఏబీసీ లెటర్స్ చూపించాలి. తెలుగు లెటర్స్ కావాలంటే తెలుగు లెటర్స్ చూపించాలి. సమ్ డేటా యూ హావ్ టు షో టు దెమ్, షో హిమ్. కొంత డేటా అయితే అతనికివ్వాలి. అతనికి డేటా ఏమి లేకుండా అతను ఏమి వర్కౌట్ చేయలేడు కదా! యూ హావ్ టు టెల్ సంథింగ్. సమ్ డేటా. ఓకే. సో, థాంక్ యూ సంథింగ్ అఖిల ఆల్ ఫర్ రెస్పాండింగ్. ఇట్స్ ఎ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. దట్ మీన్స్ సో, suppose if you want to work on a uh, COVID detection, then you can select the classification task in the Azure ML. See, you can select the classification task in the Azure ML. I will give one more example. Uh, I, I, I want to predict the electric power load on a particular substation based on some features. Forget about the input features. So whatever may be some features, based on some features, I'm trying to forecast the load on a particular electrical substation. If that is the problem you want to work, so you go to the substation and collect the data and prepare the data, save the data in your computer and open the Azure Machine Learning Studio and upload your data. Now you have the data readily available. Now go to the next step. You have to select the task. So which task you have to select now? In this second case, I'm giving an example, load forecasting on a substation. Yes, you have to select the regression problem. You have to select the regression. So there's the regression problem. Okay, like that's simple. What task you want, you can select that task. Let's assume you want to build one application. So AI based application. The main purpose of that application is uh, every day some customers will enter their complaints. They will enter their complaints in the text format. They will enter. So your application will read the complete text information. It will give the key points. They will write the paragraphs of that problems and whatever it may be, and what are the key content, what is the main motive of that word document, what they are uploaded, what they given. Okay, so if that is the case, so which type of problem it is? So you want to extract the key pages, main content of that text document. So that is the NLP. Hakim, that is the NLP because you are dealing with the text related data. You are dealing with the text related data. So that is the example for the NLP. So you can choose the natural language processing task. Like that, you can choose the computer vision if you want to work with videos or images, so such type of things. Then you go with the computer vision type of task. So that's how we can proceed in the AutoML. Okay. So after choosing the type of your task, selecting the task, now you have to set the some additional configurations you have to choose. So what the metric you want to use. So here I'm selecting the root mean square error. I said that what the uh, actually I am using here, but actually if because it's a regression problem. For a regression problem, so for the regression problem, what are the metrics we have? We have the mean absolute error, we have the root mean square error, we have the mean square error, right? So I'm selecting the root mean square error here. And I'm clicking on the explain the best model. You have the AutoML will try multiple models and it will identify the best model. And how much time you want to run the algorithm, that is also given. And what is the threshold value, that's also given. And how many number of iterations you want to run the algorithm, that also provided. You have to provide these type of information. So you need to no need to write any code actually. And evaluation. So technique called cross validation is used to calculate the evaluation of the metrics. After the model trained using the portion of data, the remaining portion of data is iteratively test and cross validate the trained model. So what it means by I will try to explain. I will try to explain. So cross validation is nothing but the training during testing. Sorry, testing during training. Sorry. So cross validation is nothing but the testing during the training. So what is the meaning of this one, sir? If you ask that one, I'm trying to explain in a simple way. So actually, generally, different methods we are following while training. The first method we will discuss, that is, suppose if you have, so let's assume you are working on the COVID problem. So fever is a one feature, O2 level is another feature, and cold is another feature, and cough is another feature, and your output label is a weather label, output label whether positive or negative. So let's assume you have the sample 1, sample 2, like that you have the 10 samples of data. 10 samples of data. Okay. Now, so there are different things are there. First, what we will do is once the data is readily available, so you have to split the data for the training of your machine learning model and also for the test your machine learning model, machine learning or deep learning, whatever it may be. To train the machine learning model and to test the machine learning model, you have to split the data. Okay, so let's assume if my splitting is 70 is to 30, that means 70% of data is used for the training and remaining 30% of data is used for the testing. So out of 10 samples, 7 samples are going for the training purpose and remaining 3 samples are going for the test that model after training. Okay, Naman? So this is the one of the task in the machine learning. Okay, na? So once the data is available, so let's assume all the pre-processing process are happening, and now we are going to split the data. Why we need to split the data? We have to use a separate data for the training, and we have to use the separate data for the testing. That's how we are going to split the data. How we split the data? That is randomly. So I'm giving the percentage 70 is to 30. That means 70% of 10. That means 7. And 30% of 10. That means 3 samples. So 7 samples are going for the training, and remaining 3 samples are used for the testing. But how that 7 samples will be selected? Do you think first 7 samples will be selected for the training, next 3 samples for the first to 7 samples for the training, and next 3 samples for the testing? No. So 7 samples will be picked randomly. Maybe sample 1 randomly it will pick. Maybe sample 1 and sample 2 and some sample 5 and sample 10 and sample 8 and some sample 7 and some sample 4. So sorry. So now it is a 4 samples. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and sample 4, 7. So these 7 samples for the training, and what left there? So third sample is left, 4, 5, 6 samples left, 7, 8, 9 samples left. So 3, 6, 9 samples are going for the testing. So the data will be splitted for the training and testing randomly. That you have to remember. Okay. And how we split? They will split as a row wise, not a column wise. Okay. That means first sample means is the row 1. Second sample means row 2. Third sample means row 3. Fourth sample means row 4. 10th sample means row 10. So that row wise the splitting is happening, not column wise. Columns are the features. Features will not split. Samples only split. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? సో మన దగ్గర 10 శాంపిల్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే 10 రోస్ ఉన్నట్టు. 100 శాంపిల్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే 100 రోస్ ఉన్నట్టు. కాలమ్స్‌ని ఫీచర్స్ అంటారు. శాంపిల్స్ అంటే రోస్ అనమాట. సో రో వైస్‌గా స్ప్లిట్ అవుతుంది. కాలమ్ వైస్‌గా కాదు. అండ్ రాండమ్‌గా స్ప్లిట్ అవుతుంది. స్పెసిఫిక్‌గా ఫస్ట్ 7 తీసుకోవాలి, నెక్స్ట్ 3 తీసుకోవాలని కాదు. సో దీస్ 2 వర్డ్స్ యూ హావ్ టు రిమెంబర్. యూ విల్ గెట్ సమ్ క్వెషన్స్ ఇన్ ద ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ లైక్ హౌ డేటా విల్ బి స్ప్లిటెడ్ ఫర్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ అండ్ టెస్టింగ్. So data will be splitted randomly and row wise samples will be splitted. That you are going to remember. That words are row and randomly. These 2 words you have to remember. Okay. So the what we will do? So with these 7 samples, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, with these 4 samples, by using some machine learning algorithms, we will train the machine learning model. Once the machine learning model was trained, now remaining 3 samples are feeded. We are going to feed to that trained machine learning model to test whether it is going to predict properly or not. Okay. Suppose if your machine learning model is predicting properly on these 3 samples, then you feel that yes, the model is perfectly working fine. And your client also happy. Yes, testing the testing, and I'm giving the 3 samples, it is predicting perfectly. So whether you can deploy the machine learning model for the real-time applications. Okay. So testing and training both are mandatory in a machine learning project. So because these 2 are mandatory, the data will be splitted for the training and testing in a specific ratio. ఓకే. అయితే మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఒకటి చెప్పడం మర్చిపోయాను. ఏంటంటే క్రాస్ వాలిడేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసి నేను మీకు ఈ విషయం చెప్పాను. ఈ క్రాస్ వాలిడేషన్ అంటే ఏంటనేది మనము చెక్ చేద్దాం. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ట్రైనింగ్ టెస్టింగ్ అనేది ఎట్లాగా ప్రాసెస్ జరుగుతుందమ్మా? హౌ ద ప్రాసెస్ విల్ బి గోయింగ్ ఆన్ ఫర్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ అండ్ టెస్టింగ్. సో ఫస్ట్ వి విల్ ట్రైన్ ద మోడల్. మేబీ వి స్పెండ్ 3 to 4 hours to train the machine learning model. Training was completed. Now new samples which are available in the test data set are given to the trained machine learning model, and I'm observing the performance of the machine learning model. Now, when I'm giving the new 3 samples from the test data and observe that my machine learning model is not perfectly working well, that means I have to retrain the model. What amount of time I spent, what amount of efforts I spent for the 3 to 4 hours for the training in the previously, that was gone completely. Time is killing, my efforts are also killing. సో దెన్ వాట్ వి విల్ డూ? సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనము కాలేజీలో గాని మనం ఫాలో అవుతుంది ఏంటి చెప్పండి. మీకు ఒక 5 యూనిట్స్ మీ ఏదైనా సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది. మీ యొక్క థర్డ్ ఇయర్ గాని, సెకండ్ ఇయర్ గాని మీకు ఒక సబ్జెక్టు కోర్స్ ఒకటి జరుగుతుందనుకోండి. ఆ కోర్సులో ఒక 5 యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో, ఆ 5 యూనిట్స్ నేను చెప్పేసి 5 యూనిట్స్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఒక సెమిస్టర్ మొత్తం తినేస్తున్నాను. సెమిస్టర్ మొత్తం కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది. సో, 5 యూనిట్స్ మీకు చెప్పేసాను. So after the semester, at end of the semester, we are conducting the examination. Now, if you all fail, then what is the use? That is the waste of all the efforts and the time for the complete whole semester, right? అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా నేను చెప్తుంది? ఐ హోప్ యూ అండర్‌స్టాండ్. మీరు మీ యొక్క సెమిస్టర్‌లో ఒక కోర్స్‌ని రిజిస్టర్ చేసుకున్నారు. ఆ కోర్స్‌లో ఒక 5 యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకుందాం. నేనే మీకు ఫ్యాకల్టీగా వచ్చాను లెట్ అస్ డు. సో, నేను ఆ కంప్లీట్ సెమిస్టర్ అంతా ఆ 5 యూనిట్స్ చెప్పి అయిపోయిన తర్వాత అట్ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ది సెమిస్టర్ ఐ విల్ టెస్ట్ యూ. హౌ మచ్ యూ ఆర్ లెర్న్. సో, టెస్ట్ పెట్టేటప్పుడు మీరందరూ ఫెయిల్ అయితే దెన్ వాట్ ద రిజల్ట్? దట్ మీన్స్ దట్ వాస్ a complete 1 semester time was gone. What the efforts I put, that is completely wasted. Then what the strategy we can go? Anyone? What the strategy we have to go? The strategy is జనరల్‌గా ఏం స్ట్రాటజీ మనం ఫాలో అవుతామా జనరల్‌గా ఇటువంటి కేస్ వచ్చినప్పుడు? విచ్ స్ట్రాటజీ వి విల్ ఫాలో? సో, అప్పుడు నేనేం చేస్తానంటే జనరల్లీ వాట్ వి ఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్. సో, ఆఫ్టర్ 1 ఆర్ 2 యూనిట్స్ we will conduct the mid examinations. Now, I will not wait to test the students until the semester, end of the semester, until the completion of the course. I want to test the students while during the training period only, within the semester only. At the starting of the semester, after completing the 1 or 2 units, I will conduct an examination to test you. If you are performing well in the test, then I realize that yes, I am teaching well and students are listening, everything good. I can go for the next 3 units. Right? Suppose after 2 units, if I conduct examinations, if you're not performing well, then what head of the department they will think, yes, there may be a problem from the students or there may be a problem from the faculty. So then they will take some necessary action. They will change the faculty and replace with some other one so that the students will be benefited. అంతే కదమ్మా! నేను 5 యూనిట్స్ సెమిస్టర్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఎగ్జామ్ పెట్టి ఫెయిల్ అయిపోతే అప్పుడు నేనేం చేయలేను. అదే మిడిల్‌లోనే టెస్ట్ చేసుకున్నాననుకోండి, డ్యూరింగ్ ది ట్రైనింగే టెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాననుకోండి, సో దెన్ ఐ కెన్ రియలైజ్ వెదర్ ఐ కెన్ గో విత్ సేమ్ ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ ఆర్ ఐ కెన్ చేంజ్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రాసెస్. చేంజ్ ద సమ్ అదర్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ. ఓకే. సో దట్స్ వాట్ వి ఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్. ఇన్ మెషిన్ లెర్నింగ్ ఆల్సో సేమ్ థింగ్. In machine learning, what we are doing is if we have a 10 samples of data, then maybe 50% of samples of data are used to train the model, and remaining 3%, 30% of data, that means 3 samples are used for the validation, that is called cross validation, and last 20% of samples, that is called 2 samples, are used for the testing. So these are for the training and these are for the validation, these are for the testing. That means, so with these 5 samples, one iteration, first iteration started, training process, first iteration started. With these 5 samples, I update the model parameter. Okay, next, after end of the first iteration, with these 3 samples, I will test the model. Again, the second iteration, again start the training with the 5 samples. At end of the second iteration, start the testing with the 3 samples. Again, start the third sample, training with the 5 samples. And validation with these 3 samples. Go to fourth iteration, train with 5 samples and test with 3 samples. So this is called the cross validation. So if I set the number of epochs, so actually what we are expecting, so error, if you draw the plot with error and number of iterations, so iteration 1, iteration 1, iteration 50, iteration 100, iteration 150, iteration 250. So actually where the training is progress on, we are expecting error should be minimized, minimized, minimized and reaches to 0. Training. At the same time, your validation also should be coming downward like this. So instead of that one, with the validation, if your error is instead of coming down, it will be rising back like this. That means your model is not trained properly. Then what I can do at even in the 100th iterations only, I can stop this iterative process. I can change the necessary action. I don't want to wait until 200 or 250 iterations are completed. At 100th iteration, there is a huge gap between the training error and testing error while training. Okay, so in that case, I will kill that process, training process, and I tune the parameters or change the model parameter, or I change the model, or I can do with something with the data and take some necessary actions so that your model will be trained properly. So hope you understand what I mean to say. So that is called as the cross validation. So that is called as the cross validation. Okay, you understood? So సో క్రాస్ వాలిడేషన్ అంటే ట్రైనింగ్ ఒక మోడల్ అనేది ట్రైన్ అవుతున్నప్పుడే ఇన్ మిడిల్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు టెస్ట్ ఇట్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ టెస్ట్ వీఆర్ టెస్ట్ ద మోడల్. సో టెస్ట్ క్రాస్ టెస్టింగ్ క్రాస్ వాలిడేషన్ ఎర్రరు అండ్ ట్రైనింగ్ ఎర్రరు ప్రాపర్గా వెళ్తున్నాయి అనుకుంటే, డౌన్ అవుతున్నాయి అనుకుంటే యూ కెన్ ప్రొసీడ్. అదర్వైజ్ ఈ విధంగా వాలిడేషన్ ఎర్రర్ అనేది రైజ్ అయిపోతుందంటే యువర్ మోడల్ ఈజ్ నాట్ వెల్ జనరలైజింగ్. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు కిల్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ అండ్ యూ కెన్ డూ సమ్ నెసరీ యాక్షన్స్ అండ్ రీట్రైన్ ద మోడల్స్. Okay. So this we already discussed. So Azure AKS means Azure Kubernetes Service. So this Azure Kubernetes Service is used for deployment. AKS Azure Kubernetes Service are used to deploy your machine learning model and to run your application. So we are using this type of computing machine cluster. Now this is called Azure Machine Learning Designer. I said yesterday and the last two classes also I said that Azure Machine Learning Designer is one of the tool offered by the Microsoft Azure. So it is a graphical interface enabling no code development in the machine learning solution. If you want to build the machine learning model without writing a single line of code, just you only using the graphical interface, then you can go with the Azure Machine Learning Designer. So remember that word and that graphical interface. So some questions may come in the examinations like which Azure tool is used to build the machine learning model with a graphical interface without using a single line of code. Then your option should be Azure Machine Learning Designer. So this will be available in the Azure ML Studio, Microsoft Azure Machine Learning Studio. Okay, hope you understand, right? So actually this Azure Machine Learning Designer is available in the Azure Machine Learning Studio. So if you want to use that one, you require a Microsoft account. At the same time, you have to purchase the Azure subscription. But for the fresh the new users, they will give the 30 days free time. So but for that free time also, so you have to use you required a credit card mandatory, as I said earlier. So they will ask credit card details like your credit card number, your validation date, and also CVV number. So and also address, you have to provide that information. Then the 2 rupees will be deducted from your credit card. Later they will be credited. So for the first 30 days, you can use all the Azure services at free of cost. Okay. But after 30 days, so they will start charging. That they will ask whether you want to continue or not. If you want to continue and if you want to use the Azure services based on your usage, they will be charged and that will be deducted from your credit card. If you don't want to use any services, you can simply delete your credit card. That's it. And ML Studio Classic. Actually, if you want to use the Azure Machine Learning Designer, you require the subscription, right? But if you feel that I don't have a credit card, so I can't do all those things, I'm not interested, then still that ML Studio Classic is available. So it is a completely separating from the what's called Azure Machine Learning Studio. It is separated completely. But this will be available until February 2024 only. So you can use this Azure ML Studio up to until 2024 only, February 2024 only. So after that, it will be retired. Then it's mandatory. There is no other option. You go for the Azure Machine Learning Designer. Okay. But now I don't want to use this ML Classic. So after session, so I'm trying to tell you how we can use this Azure Machine Learning Designer to work on the machine learning project. We will discuss that one later. Okay. Now, so I will do this exercise in the afternoon session. After now it's the 2:20, right? After 3:15 to 4:30, we will work on this designer activity. And this activity I will demonstrate in the session, and you have to do it at home. For that one, you require a Microsoft account. And I think yesterday I shared one link. So using that link, you have to create a Microsoft account. Okay. So if you already have a Microsoft account, it's no issue. If you don't have a Microsoft account, then you have to you have to create a Microsoft account using that link. That is a mandatory. Okay. So it will not charge. They will not charge anything. Just create a Microsoft account. Just try to remember your user ID and password, and you can use that user ID password for all the Microsoft services later. So I will do this exercise later. After in the second session, we will work on this exercise. And coming to the next one, data and compute management. So as I said earlier, so Microsoft Azure provides a cloud-based Microsoft Azure provides a cloud-based data storage and also computing resources it will be provided. ఓకే, నిన్న మీకు చెప్పేటట్లు అదేవిధంగా మార్నింగ్ కూడా చెప్పినట్లు సో మనం డేటా స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలనుకున్నా అండ్ కంప్యూటింగ్ మిషన్స్ కావాలనుకున్నా దిస్ విల్ బి ప్రొవైడెడ్. అండ్ అడిషనల్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ క్లౌడ్ సర్వీసెస్ ఆర్ if you want to store the data, they will store your data in the multiple copies at the different locations across the globe. If some crash happening in any server at a particular location, so your some other copy will be available some other location in the globe. That's why there is more reliable. The data will be more reliable, so more secure also. The pipeline. So data scientists, software engineers, and IT professionals can define the complete pipeline for the model training. And see, in the morning I told, right? So you have to set the regression and best model. You have to select how many iterations you want to run and which parameter you want to use to analyze your model. All the things you have to kept as a pipeline, and that will be run automatically. And everything you can do as a pipeline. Model training and model deployment and all things can be done as a pipeline. Automated pipeline. And coming to the next topic, understand the anomaly detection. So of course, this is a deprecated, as I said earlier, maybe in the class లో ఎవరైనా అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తుంటే అనామలీ డిటెక్షన్ సర్వీస్ అనేది మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ లో అజూర్ నుండి రిటైర్ అయిపోయింది. సో రిటైర్ అయిపోయిందంటే దట్ విల్ బి రిమూవ్. బట్ వీ విల్ థింక్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్ వాట్ మీన్ విత్ అనామలీ డిటెక్షన్. సో మనకు మీకు ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పాను, అనామలీ డిటెక్షన్ అంటే సంథింగ్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ అబ్నార్మల్లీ. Something is happening over a automation process, something is happening abnormally. So detection of that abnormal event is called as the anomaly detection. అంటే సపోజ్ నా దగ్గర ఒక క్రెడిట్ కార్డ్ ఉంది. సో yeah, I have a credit card now. So I am using my credit card past 5 to 6 years in to purchase the groceries at the Reliance and DMart, and for some restaurants like Papadam, like that most I'm consuming. And maybe I'm some online markets like e-commerce markets like Amazon and Flipkart I'm using over the last 5 to 6 years. So that is my pattern, my usage pattern. And suddenly my usage pattern was changed. My usage pattern was moved to some bars and restaurants. Maybe last 5 to 6 years I am in the Warangal. My usage is in the Warangal only. But now suddenly my usage in the Hyderabad or some other area. So it's like the pattern was changed. So something that is called as anomaly detection. So your AI models will detect that abnormal patterns and will give some alarming. So give some alarming. Yes, your credit card was accessed at so and so bar at so and so time at so and so location. If you are not right, please contact, like that they will be mentioned. So that's called anomaly detection. I think so you understand. So a small GIF also available. So you can see that one. Telemetry system. There is some detection system whether the cars are moving properly or not. If anything happening wrongly, then it will be detected. Yes, so actually they have to move continuously, but see at one car it stops in between. That means there is something that happened. So that is the anomaly. That is the anomaly. So that means automation process will be not done normal way. Some abnormal activity will be happening. So that identifying that such type abnormal activity is called as the anomaly detection. Okay. Next. So now we will move to the next topic that is called as the computer vision. Okay. So as I said earlier, till now we discussed about the regression problem, classification problem related to the numerical data. So computer vision means if you want to work on a project which is deals with the images, cameras and videos, then such type of applications, such type of problems are called as the computer vision application or problem. Computer vision. That means your computer will see. Computer means no need to be a laptop, no need to be desktop. Maybe your mobile also a small computing machine. A Raspberry Pi also a small computing machine. Okay, so if here it is a Raspberry. Now I have a Raspberry Pi board as of now. Now I have a Raspberry Pi board. If I connect the camera with this one, now it will see I have the camera also. For this Pi board, I have the camera also. For this Raspberry board, I have the camera also. Now this is the computer with an application. If you want to work with this is like a computer with an application. So if you want to deal with some applications where you are dealing with the camera, where you are dealing with the images, where you are dealing with the videos, so such type of applications are called the computer vision applications. Visual processing, that's called visual processing. Computer vision is the area of AI that deals with the visual processing. See, there is a, I think I shared one video earlier. Seeing AI. So Seeing AI is one of the mobile application which was developed based on the Microsoft Azure services. It will be used for the various visual perceptions, like to observe the based on the camera. So it will tell in which direction you have to move, and it will tell where you are located, and it will help you to read the document. So all the things can be done using the Seeing AI. So this is the one of the computer with an application based mobile app. Why is the computer vision? Because your mobile camera seeing, your computing machine is a mobile, it's seeing. Okay. One minute, please. Yeah. See this video. Maybe it may understand you what mean by the computer vision.
Seeing AI is a Microsoft research project for people with visual impairments. The app narrates the world around you by turning the visual world into an audible experience. Point your phone's camera, select a channel, and hear a description. The app recognizes saved friends.
Jenny near top right, 3 feet away.
Describes the people around you, including their emotions.
28-year-old female wearing glasses looking happy.
It reads text out loud as it comes into view, like on an envelope.
Ken Lawrence, P.O. Box.
Or a room entrance.
Conference 2005.
Or scan and read documents like books and letters. The app will guide you and recognize the text with its formatting.
Top and left edge is not visible. Hold steady. Lease agreement. This agreement
When paying with cash, the app identifies currency bills.
$20.
When looking for something in your pantry or at the store, use the barcode scanner with audio cues to help you find what you want.
Campbell's tomato soup.
When available, hear additional product details.
Heated microwave bowl on height.
And even hear descriptions of images in other apps like Twitter by importing them into Seeing AI.
A close-up of Bill Gates.
Finally, explore our experimental features like scene descriptions to get a glimpse of the future.
I think it's a young girl throwing a frisbee in the park.
Experience the world around you with the Seeing AI app from Microsoft.
So hope you understand what mean will they say a computer vision. So computer vision may be a identification of images or extracting the some text data from the images, or that may are uh, identifying the currency notes. So are identifying the face of a candidate. So these all are comes under the computer vision applications. So now, so move to the. So now we have the different tasks in the computer vision. So one is called as the image classification, object detection, semantic segmentation, image analysis, face detection, face analysis and recognition, and optical character recognition. So we are going to discuss one by one. Okay. So image classification is nothing but so your model able to identify which image it is, whether it is a car, whether it is a bus, whether it is a bike. So that is called the image classification. So image classification involves training a machine learning model to classify the images based on their content. So this is called taxi. Suppose some other image is there, it will show that it is a bus, it is a car, like that it will tell image classification. For example, in a traffic monitoring solution, you might use the image classification model to classify the images based on the type of the vehicle. So your model will tell it is a taxi, it is a bus, it is a cycle, and so on like that. So it will classify the images. Okay, so that is called as the image classification. So when we want to use the image classification based application, make sure that your image contains um, image contains only single object. Okay, so just a minute, please. Okay, so image classification is nothing but the classify the image. So it is a pen and it is a mouse and it is a mobile. So like that you will classify the image. So that is called the image classification. If you want to work on image classification problem, make sure that the image which you are feeding to the machine learning model that contains one content, one image content only, one object only. So that image must contain only mouse or it may contains only pen like that. Don't prepare the data. If you want to work on image classification problem, don't to prepare the data. Uh, don't prepare the images that contains the multiple objects. Okay, so uh, I want to ask one question. Okay, I will ask the questions later. So that is called as image classification problem. And coming to the second one, so object detection. So object detection means now in an image you have the multiple objects. So this is the bus, then this is the car, and these are the cyclists. So these are the multiple objects are there. So what the object detection means, your machine learning model will give the, if you feed a complete image to your machine learning model or deep learning model, if you feed the complete image to a machine learning model or deep learning model, then then your model will give identify different objects in the image and make a bounding box, a rectangular or square type of bounding box around that object also. And also it will tag. అంటే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డిటెక్షన్ అంటే సో ఇఫ్ యూ ఒక ఇమేజ్ మీరు ఫీడ్ చేశారనుకోండి, ఆ ఇమేజ్లో ఒక మల్టిపుల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, సో యువర్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ మోడల్ ఏబుల్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై ద ఆల్ ద ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అండ్ కీప్ ఏ బౌండింగ్ బాక్స్ అరౌండ్ దట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అండ్ గివ్ ద నేమ్ యాజ్ దిస్ ద బస్, దిస్ ద కార్, లైక్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ ప్రొవైడ్. దట్ మీన్స్ ఇట్స్ a classification plus a bounding box, location identification. So that is called as the object detection. Image classification means only object identification, what the object is, whether it's a bus or whether it's a car. But object detection means it's the classification whether it contains a bus, car, or cycle like that. Bus, car, cycle like that, and also it will give its location where it will be located. That also required that localization in the form of the bounding boxes and also its tag, its name also provided. Okay, that is also important. Thank you for remembering. Okay, so coming to the image classification we discussed, and coming to the object detection. So in object detection, you can see this image. This image contains a multiple objects. Some cycles are there, car is there, bus is there, like that, right? So object detection means it is able to identify the different objects within the image and also tell tell the its location also. As this the car is located in this portion and the bus is located in this portion and cycle is located in this portion with a bounding boxes around that object. So this is called as object detection. So object detection simply we can call it as a image classification or object image classification, nothing but whether the bus, car, cycle, whatever it may be, and also localization where it is located. that should be represented as a bounding box. So these two are the mandatory things. Okay, these two things will be incorporated in the object detection. Okay, we will come back where we use all the things. We will tell one more thing, and it is the semantic segmentation. Semantic segmentation almost looks like a object detection, but only slight change is in the object detection. We will keep a bounding box. We will keep a bounding box around the objects, bus and car and cycle. We will keep the bounding boxes, right? But here in the semantic segmentation, no bounding box are there, but all the objects will be masked with some pixels of color. So here the bus is masked with some red color, and this car is masked with some blue color, and where cyclists are masked with some green color, some pixels of color that will be masked. So then it's called as semantic segmentation. There is no bounding boxes here, so it will be identify bus different objects within the image, but they are localized with some semantic segmentation with a mask. With a mask. Okay, different color masks will be kept on the various vehicles. Okay. Now, so this is semantic segmentation. Next, image analysis. Image analysis means if you feed a complete image to a machine learning model, and if your machine learning model able to describe what is that image represents, then it is called as the image analysis. See, if I feed this image to a machine learning model, then it will give the information like a person with a dog on the street. So it is the model analyze the image and give the description. So that is called as image analysis. This is also one of the computer vision application. That is also one of the computer vision application. Also, it will tag so sometimes a person, there is a dog, and the street. Based on that, so it will give the some description and some tags also provided. That is called the image analysis. Analyze the image and give the description. That is called as image analysis. That is also one of the computer vision application. And next one is a face detection, face analysis, and face recognition. So that means, so if you feed a video to a machine learning model, or if you feed an image to a machine learning model, that machine learning model able to detect the face detect the human face. Okay, it will detect the human faces within the video or within the image with a bounding box. With a bounding box, it will detect faces in the image or video with the bounding boxes. So that is called face detection. So where the face is located within the video, or where the face are located within the photo image. So that localization of the face with a bounding box is called as a face detection. Okay, and face analysis. So based on, see, sometimes if I keep like this means my mouth will be somewhat stretched. That means I am happy. It analyze the face and it will give some response as he is in happy position. Or if I keep my eyebrows very close to each other, so it shows that he is very angry. It's like that. So it will analyze the face, and sometimes it will give the how the person feeling. That's also. And face analysis can be done in the to avoid the small practices in the examination, all online examination. A bounding box will be happening around my space. When I'm writing the online examination in my laptop, I have to see in front, right? So if I'm seeing like this or like this means, so it will be analyzing and saying that something is happening wrong. And face recognition. So face recognition means, so this face is belongs to whom? In the security applications, let's assume we have an IoT lab, and this IoT lab is dedicated for the few students. Others will not be allowed. Then they will keep on face-based application, and it will recognize the face. If that face is belongs to the candidate, permitted candidate, then the doors will be open, or it doors will not open. So that is the face recognition. So face recognition means recognize the face. The face is belongs to which person. So that is called as a face recognition. So hope you understand what I mean to say. And finally, optical character recognition is a technique used to detect and read the text in the images. So here, so this is the image. So if you feed this image to a machine learning model, and the machine learning model extract the text information within the image, and it will print it like this, the Toronto Dominion Bank, then this is called as the optical character recognition. So you have to remember that. Okay. So maybe coaches will become like if we want to extract the text document available within the, text available within the image, then which service is required, which tool we required. That is called optical character recognition, OCR. So in this AI 900 fundamental, we no need to develop all those things, but you need to understand for what purpose what we are using. What we are using and what purpose we are using, that is required. Okay, hope you understand. Next, so what are the different computer vision services in Microsoft Azure? We will discuss now. So various computer vision services in the Microsoft. So that we are going to discuss now. So different applications are, one is called computer vision application available. So that is called, you can use this service to analyze the images and the videos and extract the descriptions, tags and objects and text. So if you feed the image or video, it will give the description of the complete video or image, and also provide the tags, and also it will give the what are the objects are available within the image or within the video. Also provide the what the text information is available. So that is called as computer vision. Now we actually we have a complete service is available in the cloud, that is called Microsoft Azure AI services, AI vision services. Okay, there is a single service that is called AI vision service. In that way, AI vision service or AI vision resource, you get all the services are available within that one. Computer vision is available, custom vision is available, face is available, form recognition is available. All the things will be available. So I think you understand what is the computer vision and what is the custom vision. Custom vision means, so if you want to work on your own data, not pre-built existing data, pre-built model or pre-built existing data. If you want to work on your own data sets or your own images, on your own videos, so then you will go with the custom vision. So you may get some questions like, uh, so which service is suitable to work on vision applications based on the our own images. Our own images means don't feel that images of you. That means the images that you developed, you build for your project. Okay, so that is called custom vision, own images. And there is a face service is available. This face service is used for the face detection, face recognition, and face analysis. And form recognizer is available. Form recognizer is used to extract the information from the scanned documents. Okay. Form recognizer is used to extract the data from the scanned documents. Sorry, scanned documents. So actually, this is the what we developed the mobile application. Is one of the computer vision application. So if you keep a 10 rupee note in front of the mobile camera, it will give the probability. So that means the 10 rupee note has the highest probability. At the same time, it will give the audio output also. And now coming to the next one. So that is called natural language processing, NLP. So what does that mean by NLP, natural language processing? Till now we discussed about the vision-based application, computer vision applications. So vision-based application means we are dealing with the cameras, we are dealing with the images, we are dealing with the videos. Okay. Now in case of the vision-based NLP, so we are dealing with the text information. It may be a written text or maybe a spoken language. So if you are dealing with some written type of things or in the spoken languages, then it's called come under the natural language processing. So what the natural language processing means? Analyze and interpret. Analyze and interpret text in the documents, email messages, and other resources that comes under the natural language processing. Second, interpret spoken language. I said that Alexa switch off the fan. So it will understand and interpret. Yes, he said that switch off the fan. So fan should be switched off. So interpret the spoken language and synthesize the speech responses according to the it will be responded. Automatically translate the spoken or written phrases between the languages. Maybe I speak in English, convert it to text, and translate it to Hindi, and it will give the audio output. So that type of things can be done using the natural language processing. And I said earlier, so interpret the commands, determine the appropriate actions. So if you give some command, so the device will follow that action. So that also comes under the natural language processing application. So mainly, the thing you have to remember is, so natural language processing means you are going to dealing with the text data or spoken languages, that you have to remember. So there is a Starship Commander. So Starship Commander, a virtual reality game, okay, where human can interact with the players within the game. So it's the NLP application. So the human, that means if I want to play that game, so I will keep the headset and I will give the instructions. So accordingly, the game will be followed. The players will act based on my instructions. So that is the one of the game, Star Commander game. So that is the based on the NLP services provided by the Microsoft. Just a minute. So I want to share this video also with you. Sorry.
So think about this. How often are you alive when the dawn of a new medium comes out? I knew that I had to be a part of VR because there are no rules for what VR should be. Starship Commander is a choose-your-own-adventure VR narrative that uses natural language processing, so you can actually have a real conversation with the characters.
I'm Sergeant Sarah Pearson. I've been assigned to your wing today.
When we started making Starship Commander, we had to figure out, how do we get technology that can understand what a person's saying so that we can have these new narrative experiences? We're a science fiction game. We come up with new words. No off-the-shelf software could let us put in custom words.
Who are the Echnians?
In our story, the bad guys are called the Echnians. And every time we said Echnian, it would come up with really weird words that were similar to other things that you would say. And so it would get confused all the time. So we needed to make sure that we could supply our own script. We started using Microsoft Cognitive Services to power the back end of Starship Commander.
Looks cool.
Once we plugged custom speech service into Starship Commander, I had tears in my eyes when I was playing it because it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is the experience we want.
Open the hatch.
Voice print accepted. Welcome, Commander.
You can essentially put your script in there and it knows, oh, these are the ways that people are going to talk. And these are the phrases that they're going to say.
Cool. What's my mission?
Must be something pretty important.
And then the second thing, too, was the intent detection. With Lewis, you basically give it a couple statements. After you've given it a couple statements, you crunch it and you start typing in your own statements. And it's shockingly scary how good it picks up, even stuff that you didn't put in there.
Computer, use autopilot and let's be on our way.
Autopilot engaging.
I have never seen an opportunity like this, where there's a wide open playing field. No one's written the rules yet. There's going to be tons of amazing software out there, and I just can't wait to see what other people write.
So this is the one of the virtual game where humans are interacting with the players within the game. It was developed based on the natural language processing services available in the Microsoft Azure. Okay. Now move to next topic, next one. So what are the different natural language processing services available in the Microsoft Azure? So actually, this is somewhat old content, but so AI speech service, the type of different services are now available. And previously we have in Microsoft Azure, you can use the following cognitive services to build the natural language processing. One is called text analytics. So text analytics means if you feed the text data, then the model will be able to extract the key information of the text and detect the entities like places, dates, and people, and also evaluate the sentiment, whether the text will give some positive vibrations or negative vibrations, negative sentiment, or positive sentiment. So these all are comes under the text analytics. Hope you understand what I mean to say. So text analytics will extract the key information from the text. It will extract the various entities like name, date, place, such type of entities will be extracted and also give the sentiment analysis also. That is called text analytics. And there is called a translator text. So use the service to translate the text to more than 60 languages. Now it is approximately 100 yesterday I told. And speech service. So this is used to recognize and synthesize the speech. To recognize the speech and synthesize the speech and translate my language, translate my speech into the some other language. So such type of things can be done by using the speech service. And they call it language understanding intelligence service, LUIS. So the actually this language understanding intelligence service is used to train the language models. Okay, especially when we are creating the chatbots, if the user enters some data, then the backend these language models able to understand what user is entered, and based on that understanding, the response will be coming back in the chatbot. So that's what the purpose of the LUIS, Language Understanding Intelligence Service. The Language Understanding Intelligence Service is used to train the language model and to understand the spoken and text-based commands. Okay, to train the language models and also to understand the spoken and text-based commands. So this will be useful. So in the natural language processing, is a new things added when compared to the previous last versions, new version. So there are the different services. So what the services available are Azure AI language, one service, and Azure AI speech, it is another service. And these AI, Azure AI language and Azure AI speech both are available. That means Azure AI language is available in the Azure Language Studio and Azure AI speech available in the Azure Speech Studio. See, machine learning related, we discussed the red classification and regression, the type of task, auto ML and designer, all are available in the Azure Machine Learning Studio. ఓకే ఇంతకుముందు మీకు చెప్పాను కదమ్మా రెగ్యులేషన్ ప్రాబ్లం క్లాసిఫికేషన్ ప్రాబ్లం చేస్తుంటాము ఆటో ఎంఎల్ ఉంటుంది అండ్ డిజైనర్ ఉంటుంది ఆల్ దీస్ ఫీచర్స్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ద అజూర్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ స్టూడియో ఓకే వెర్ కమింగ్ టు ది న్యాచురల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ సో అజూర్ ఏఐ లాంగ్వేజ్ సర్వీస్ and Azure AI speech service, and these are available in the Azure Language Studio. There is the Azure AI language available, whereas in the Azure Speech Studio, Azure AI speech is available. So what this Azure AI language and Azure AI speech will do? Azure AI language. So you remember students these things. Uh, if you have a credit card, all this you can try. But at least for the examination point of view, you have to aware of what are the different services are available in the Azure and services is used for what purpose. That is sufficient for you as of now. Okay. Later, once you understand all these things, then you go for the implementation for the next certification levels. Okay. So Azure AI language. So understanding what the purpose, why you are using this Azure AI language service, understanding and analyzing the text. So understanding and analyzing the text and training the conversational language models that understand the spoken or text-based commands and building the intelligent applications. Building the intelligent application like chatbots. సో ఇంతకుముందు మనము టెక్స్ట్ అనలిటిక్స్ అని చదువుకున్నాము స్పీచ్ అని చదువుకున్నాము అండ్ వాట్ ఎల్స్ ట్రాన్స్లేట్ టెక్స్ట్ అని చదువుకున్నాం కదా సో ఆల్ ఆర్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ద అజూర్ ఏఐ లాంగ్వేజ్ అండ్ అజూర్ ఏఐ స్పీచ్ okay so this is used to understand and learn the text training the conversational language models so I think somewhere I have mistake it wrongly I copied both things and Azure AI language is used for the written text related information, language related applications. And Azure AI speech is used for the speech applications, spoken applications. So like this speech service is available in the Azure AI speech, where the text analytics, translating text, and this LUAS type of things all are available in the Azure AI language. ఓకేనమ్మా అంటే అజూర్ ఏ లాంగ్వేజ్లో మనకు టెక్స్ట్ అనలిటిక్స్ అంటే ఏంటి మనకు డాక్యుమెంట్ అప్లోడ్ చేసామనుకోండి దాని యొక్క కీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలి అటువంటివి టెక్స్ట్ అనలిటిక్స్లో వస్తుంది లేదు మనం ఒక డాక్యుమెంట్ ఫీడ్ చేసామని కొన్ని ఎంటిటీస్ కావాలి, అంటే నేమ్స్ ఏమున్నాయి, లొకేషన్స్ ఏమున్నాయి, డేట్ టైమ్స్ ఏమున్నాయి, అటువంటి ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయాలనుకోండి, దట్స్ ఆల్సో కమ్స్ అండర్ టెక్స్ట్ అనలిటిక్స్. ఆల్ దీస్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ద అజూర్ ఏఐ లాంగ్వేజ్. Okay, and you want to translate your text from the one language to the another language, then that comes under again Azure AI language. Speech వచ్చినప్పుడు only spoken applications. అంటే ఒక you have to speak something and accordingly it will be interpret and it will be respond. So spoken applications that will comes under the Azure AI speech. I will update this one later. Now coming to the conversational AI. So what is the conversational AI? So after conversational AI, this one. Okay. So I will take next 5 to 10 minutes. Later we will take a break. Attend some practice questions also there. I will ask how you respond, we will see. Conversational AI. So మీకు ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పాను, గుర్తుందో లేదో. ఇంతకుముందు there is a conversation between the humans. అంటే లైక్ సో పలానా హాస్పిటల్లో డాక్టర్ ఉన్నారో లేదో తెలుసుకోవాలనుకుంటే నేను చేస్తాను. సో మేబీ ఐ విల్ కాల్ ద రిసెప్షనిస్ట్ అండ్ రిసెప్షనిస్ట్ flip the phone. Sorry. Flip the phone and I will ask the question, he will respond. Now I'm communicating with the humans. Now it will not like that. There is a chatbot. Maybe some hospitals may give some chatbots. So now I am interacting with the chatbot AI agent backside. So I will. It's now is the in the hospital doctor is available. Then chatbot may ask, who you want. You want a cardiologist, you want a skin specialist dermatologist, and like that it will ask some questions. So I will choose accordingly. Then he will tell, "Hey, as of now these are the doctors are available. If no is not available, who will give this information? That AI based agent. So that is called as a conversation AI. We are not conversing with the human beings, we are conversing with the AI agent in the back end. Okay, that is the conversational AI. So conversational AI solutions use the bot services, chatbot services, to manage the dialogues between the users, human beings, with the AI agent. And where we keep these bot services, the bot services may be in the web application, website, or in the Facebook like social media accounts, or maybe in the mobile application. Anyone can embed. సో ఇంతకుముందు ఐఆర్సిటీస్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే చాట్ బోట్ ఉండేది కాదు. ఇప్పుడు ఐఆర్సిటీ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే రైట్ కార్నర్లో మీకు చాట్ బోట్ కనిపిస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఈవెన్ మార్నింగ్ నేను మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ అజూర్ అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం ఓపెన్ చేసినప్పుడు రైట్ కార్నర్ there is a one chat bot. May I help you? So like that it is coming. So we can embed such type of chatbots across the different web platforms wherever it is required. So where we can use this chatbot? So అసలు ఎందుకు కన్వర్జేషన్ AI వల్ల ఏం బెనిఫిట్ వస్తుంది మనకు? వేర్ వీ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్ వన్? సో వీ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్ కన్వర్జేషన్ AI ఆర్ బాట్ సర్వీసెస్ in a customer support for products and services. Agree? So products to services, customer support point of view, we can use the chat services. మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారో లేదో, యాక్చువల్లీ నేను ఒక 1 or 2 years బ్యాక్ అనుకుంటా సామ్సంగ్ వాషింగ్ మెషిన్ తీసుకున్నాను. సో తీసుకున్న 1 or 2 డేస్లో సమ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ వచ్చిందనమాట. సో వెన్ ఐ కాల్ టు ది కస్టమర్ కేర్, సో అవర్ ఏజెంట్స్ ఆర్ బిజీ, సో యూ కెన్ యూజ్ అవర్ చాట్ బాట్ టు రిజాల్వ్ ద ఇష్యూ. Then I open the chat bot and I ask the chat bot asked some questions. Accordingly, I responded and it gives some solutions. Right? So that's the customer support. That is the customer support, right? And finally, it will redirect to technician if not resolved. So in such type of things, we can use the conversation AI or chat bot services. And where we can use again reservation systems like the restaurants, airlines, cinemas, IRCTC. You can choose in the IRCT. You can find that chatbot service also. And healthcare consultants and self-diagnosis. As I said earlier, if you want to build an application to detect the COVID, then it is a chatbot. That means a NLP-based application, because it will ask. There is a chatbot application. It will ask, you have a fever? Yes. How much? 1 or 2. You have a cold? Yes. You have a cough? Yes. You have O2? Yes, it's 80. So you will be there is a possibility that you have a COVID. So please consult your doctor, like that it will be suggest for you. So this comes under the NLP, natural language processing, conversation AI. The AI agent interacting with the person, human being. And home automations and personal digital assistants that also can be used. Conversational AI. And what are the actually Q&A maker? Yesterday I told Q&A maker is retired. So it is not available in the Microsoft Azure now. It is retired, but previously Q&A maker is available. So Q&A maker and Azure bot services are the few conversational AI services. Few conversational AI services. Okay. So what the Q&A maker is? So Q&A maker is simply already pre-built questions are there. So based on what we are asking, it will give the answer. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? సో క్యూఎన్ మేకర్ అంటే అది మనం ఏమి చెప్పే టెక్స్ట్ని అర్థం చేసుకొని రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వదు. ఆల్రెడీ ప్రీ బిల్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి. మనం క్వశ్చన్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుని దానికి తగిన ఆన్సర్ బ్యాక్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. దట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ క్యూఎన్ఏ మేకర్. ఓకే, లైక్ ఇప్పుడు మీకు చెప్పిన చాట్ బాట్ చెప్పాను కదా, ఏంటి డూ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ ఫేవర్, ఇట్ విల్ ఆస్క్ ద క్వశ్చన్. దేర్ ఆర్ టూ ఆప్షన్స్, ఎస్ ఆర్ నో, దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ ద ఆన్సర్ అకార్డింగ్లీ. And later it will ask how much fever you have, how much temperature you have. Then I will give some temperature value. So based on some level, it will ask another question. It will ask what is the code, yes or no. So as they can ask, you have a cough or yes or no. So it's a pre-built questions, and we will give the answer accordingly. It will be respond. That is the Q&A method, knowledge based. Knowledge based అంటే ఆల్రెడీ నాలెడ్జ్ స్టోర్ చేసి ఉంటాయి క్వశ్చన్స్, అండ్ అకార్డింగ్లీ మనం ఇచ్చే ఆన్సర్ బట్టి ఇట్ విల్ అనలైజ్ అండ్ గివ్ ద రెస్పాన్స్. And Azure bot service is somewhat difficult, advanced. So it will understand what we are saying and respond accordingly. So for the Azure bot services, we are using the LUIS, language understanding services. So that LUIS is used to understand the what text we are using, and that LUIS is used in the bot services to understand what we are entering, what text we are entering, and respond accordingly. It's not a knowledge based. Q&A maker is knowledge based. Azure bot service is not a knowledge base, but it will understand based on LUIS. LUIS I told yesterday in the year, right? Where here. LUIS, language understanding intelligent services. Use these services to train the language models that can understand spoken or text-based commands. Okay, spoken text-based commands అర్థం చేసుకోవడం కోసం అది యూజ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. దట్ విల్ బి రన్ బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ బాట్ సర్వీసెస్, Azure bot services. Hope you understand. So Q&A maker, as I told, this cognitive service enables you quickly build a knowledge-based questions. That means you have to prepare a database for a questions, and it will ask those questions. You have to give the response, answer. Accordingly, it will decide. Q&A service can only retrieve the answers from the knowledge base. If you give this question, so it will tag the corresponding answer. It will give the answer to you. Hope you understand. So already in the knowledge base, you have the question corresponding answer. So if you select a particular question, it will give the answer. That is called knowledge base, Q&A maker, question and answer maker. And where Azure bot services, this service provides the platform for creating, publishing, and managing the bots. To create the bot and to publish the bot in a web portals, and also manage the bot, we can use the Azure bot services. Developers can use the bot framework to create the bot and manage it to Azure bot services, integrate with the LUIS and Q&A, and connected to the channel for the web chat or email or Microsoft Teams or social media, whatever it may be, it will be integrated. Okay, so Q&A maker is very simple, knowledge base, question and answer both are available. If you select the question, it will give the answer. But Azure bot services, it has a Q&A knowledge base. At the same time, it has the LUIS also. It will understand. It will understand what you are asking, and accordingly it search for the question and answer. It will give the answer accordingly. So that is called Azure bot services. And I will put some practice questions here. So please respond. So later we will take the break. Okay. Note this. So anyone, please respond. What is the answer? You want to create a model to predict the sales of ice cream based on the historic data. That includes daily ice cream sales, totals, and weather measurements. Which Azure services you should use? క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటమ్మా, మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేయాలి. అప్లికేషన్ ఏం చేయాలంటే, బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద వెదర్ కండిషన్, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏబుల్ టు ప్రెడిక్ట్ హౌ మెనీ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఐస్ క్రీమ్స్ విల్ బి సేల్డ్. ఎన్ని ఐస్ క్రీమ్ సేల్స్ అవుతాయో మీ యొక్క మోడల్ చెప్పాలి, మీ యొక్క అప్లికేషన్ చెప్పాలి, బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద వెదర్ కండిషన్స్. ఓకే, నౌ if you want to do this type of applications, so which of the Microsoft Azure services you can prefer? You want to use Azure machine learning, you want to use the Q&A maker, you want to use the text analytics. So I will post it in the chat bot. So please respond. Yeah, Pooja, you are right. Hakim, you are right. Perfect. So the Azure machine learning, very good. Okay. So because it is a machine learning related task, not NLP, not vision-based tasks. Okay, very good. Azure. Now tell me, this problem comes under the regression problem, or binary classification problem, or categorical classification problem. The problem which we discussed as part of this question. So this comes under the regression problem, classification problem, or binary classification problem, or categorical classification problem. Yes, Nandu, you are right. But Niklesh, yes, perfect. It is a regression problem. Why it is a regression problem? Why it is a regression problem? Why it is a regression problem? Anyone? Why it is a regression problem? Chandu, you told that it is a regression problem. Yes. So we are going to predict the number of sales. So number of sales may be 2, 10, 20, 100, 200, any number, right? So it will be a continuous number. You are going to predict a number of sales. So number of sales is a continuous variable. So it is a regression problem. Very good. Sorry. Now I will open the second question. You want to train. I will post here also. So you want to train a machine learning model that classifies the images of the dogs and cats based on the collection of your own digital photographs. Which Azure service should be used? Computer vision, custom vision, C, Azure bot service. Which one is better? Computer vision, custom vision, or Azure bot service? So what is the right option? Perfect. Hakim, so it is not a computer vision because here we are working with on your own images collected by your photograph. సో మీ యొక్క ఓన్ ఇమేజెస్ మీద మీ యొక్క అంటే ఐ మీన్ మీరు కలెక్ట్ చేసిన ఇమేజెస్ మీద మీరు క్యాప్చర్ చేసిన ఇమేజెస్ మీద మనం వర్కౌట్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి ఇట్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ద కస్టమ్ విజన్. కంప్యూటర్ విజన్ అంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ డేటా యూ వాంట్ టు యూజ్, ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ఇమేజెస్ మీద వర్కౌట్ చేస్తే దెన్ ఇట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ద కంప్యూటర్ విజన్. ఆల్రెడీ అజూర్ ఎంఎల్ డేటాబేస్ ఆల్రెడీ ఇమేజెస్ అన్ని ఉంటాయి. సో వాటిని మనం యూజ్ చేసుకుంటుంటే దాన్ని గో ఫర్ ద కంప్యూటర్ విజన్. అలా కాకుండా మీ యొక్క ఓన్ ఫోటోగ్రాఫ్స్ ఏమైనా మీరు కలెక్ట్ చేసిన డేటా ఓన్ డేటా మీద వర్కౌట్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటే దెన్ యూ గో విత్ ద కస్టమ్ విజన్ సర్వీస్. వెరీ గుడ్, కస్టమ్ విజన్ సర్వీస్. నెక్స్ట్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ సమ్వాట్ మేబీ ఓకే, ఐ విల్ టెల్. సో మేబీ ఈ చదివేసి మీరు చెప్పండి అమ్మా, మేబీ వాట్ విల్ బి ద రైట్ ఆన్సర్ అనుకుంటున్నారో మీరు చెప్పొచ్చు. జస్ట్ యూజ్ యువర్ కామన్ సెన్స్ అండ్ టెల్ దిస్ ఆన్సర్. క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే యు ఆర్ డిజైనింగ్ ఏ ఏఐ అప్లికేషన్ అండ్ దట్ యూజెస్ ద కంప్యూటర్ విజన్ టు డిటెక్ట్ ద క్రాక్స్ ఇన్ ఏ కార్ షీల్డ్స్. కార్ వీల్ షీల్డ్లో క్రాక్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే అవి డిటెక్ట్ చేయడం కోసము ఐడెంటిఫై చేసేట్లు ఒక కంప్యూటర్ అప్లికేషన్ మీరు డెవలప్ చేస్తున్నారు. అండ్ వార్న్స్ డ్రైవర్, యువర్ అప్లికేషన్ విల్ వార్న్ ద డ్రైవర్ని వార్న్ చేస్తుంది. ఏంటి? వెన్ ఏ విండ్ షీల్డ్ షుడ్ బి రిపేర్డ్ ఆర్ రీప్లేస్డ్. విండ్ షీల్డ్ అనేది రిపేర్ కానీ రీప్లేస్ చేసినప్పుడు కానీ వాళ్ళకి వార్నింగ్ అయితే ఇస్తుంది. ఏంటని? వెన్ టెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ ఏ గుడ్ లైటింగ్ కండిషన్ ద అప్లికేషన్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్లీ డిటెక్ట్స్ 99% ఆఫ్ ది dangerously damaged glasses. Which one of the following statements should be included in the your application's user manual? మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేశారమ్మా. ఆ అప్లికేషన్ పర్పస్ ఏంటి? కార్ యొక్క షీల్డ్స్లో ఏమైనా క్రాక్స్ వస్తే ఈ అప్లికేషన్ అనేది డిటెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. సో మీరు ఈ అప్లికేషన్ ట్రైన్ చేసినప్పుడు మంచి గుడ్ లైట్ కండిషన్లోనే ట్రైన్ చేశారు, టెస్ట్ చేశారు, ఆల్మోస్ట్ 99% యాక్యురసీ వచ్చింది. అదే మీ యొక్క యూజర్ మాన్యువల్లో పెట్టారు. సో ఇప్పుడు అదే యూజర్ మాన్యువల్లో ఇంకొక స్టేట్మెంట్ కూడా యాడ్ చేయాలి. ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఏదైతే బాగుంటుంది, ఇక్కడ 3 స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. 3 స్టేట్మెంట్స్లో ఏదైతే కరెక్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అనుకుంటున్నారు? ఏబిసిలో చెప్పండి. జస్ట్ ఓన్లీ అప్లై యువర్ కామన్ సెన్స్, దట్స్ ఇట్. నో ఏఐ, నో ఎంఎల్, నో డిఎల్. జస్ట్ యూజ్ అప్లై సిమ్ కామన్ సెన్స్. అంటే మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ ఒక డెవలపర్గా మీరు ఆలోచించండి అంతే. మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేశారు. అప్లికేషన్ ఏమో మంచి లైటింగ్ కండిషన్ ఉంటే 99% యాక్యురసీ వస్తుంది, టెస్టింగ్ యాక్యురసీ కూడా పెట్టేశారు. దాంతోపాటు మీ యొక్క అప్లికేషన్ మాన్యువల్లో ఏ సెంటెన్స్ ఇచ్చిన 3 సెంటెన్స్ ఏది పెడితే బాగుంటుంది? సో అక్కడ ఏం పెట్టాలంటే, సో యాక్చువల్లీ దిస్ అప్లికేషన్ వాస్ టెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ ద గుడ్ లైటింగ్ కండిషన్. ఓకే. సో మీరు ఈ అప్లికేషన్ యూజ్ చేసేటప్పుడు గుడ్ లైట్ కండిషన్స్ ఉంటే పర్ఫెక్ట్‌గానే చెప్తుంది. లేకపోతే ఇట్ మే నాట్ సజెస్ట్ కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్. కానీ మీకు అది క్రాక్ వచ్చిందని అనిపిస్తే యూ కెన్ గో అండ్ చెక్ విత్ ద మెకానిక్ అనేది చెప్పాలన్నమాట. ఓకేనే. సో దట్ ఇస్ ద ఎందుకంటే మనకు అప్లికేషన్ అనేది ఇప్పుడు కోవిడ్ ప్రిడిక్షన్ కోసము మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేశారనుకోండి, ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ సజెస్ట్ డైరెక్ట్ మెడిసిన్ రైట్. సో ఇట్ విల్ సజెస్ట్ గో అండ్ కాంటాక్ట్ ద డాక్టర్. సో మీకు కోవిడ్ ఉంది, ఉన్నట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది, ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోండి అని చెప్తుందనమాట. అంటే లైక్ ప్రైమరీ ట్రీట్మెంట్ కోసం యూజ్ చేస్తాం అప్లికేషన్, ఫైనల్ కాదు. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ కూడా అప్లికేషన్ అనేది ఈ కండిషన్‌లో పర్ఫెక్ట్‌గా ఉంది. సో కాబట్టి మీ యొక్క షీల్డ్ బ్రోకెన్ అవ్వలేదని అప్లికేషన్ చెప్పినా గానీ, మీకు అనిపిస్తే మాత్రం ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకోండి అన్నట్టు మనం చెప్పాలి. దట్ ఇస్ ఆప్షన్ ఇస్ ఏ. ఓకే. Okay, fine. So this is the end for the first session. In the second session, we will work on the project that is the automobile price prediction project using the ML Studio Classic.